The claim that Moses and his company saw the God of Israel appears to contradict the flat denials of such a possibility in texts such as Exodus 33:20.
But he said, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live." No one has ever seen God, but the one and only Son, who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father, has made him known, who alone is immortal and who lives in unapproachable light, whom no one has seen or can see. To him be honor and might forever. Amen.
What are we to believe? Did some see God who is spirit and without form, or did they not? These passages surely look as if they contradict each other. The translators who compiled the Greek version of the Old Testament, the Septuagint, were so concerned about any wrong connotations in Exodus 24:9, that they added in the place where he stood to the words "they saw the God of Israel." There is no basis for such an addition, however, except the tendency of this translation to avoid any descriptions of God in terms that are used of human beings, the so-called anti-anthropomorphic trend of the LXX. Even though verse 10 clearly says that the leaders saw the God of Israel, the text does not go on to describe him, any more than did Isaiah, when he saw Adonai exalted in the heavenly temple in Isaiah chapter 6. The verb used in verse 10 is used of seeing with one's eyes. Only when we get to verse 11 is there a qualification, for it uses another verb, that means to see in a vision. Moreover, despite the assertion that Moses and the leaders saw God, the description of what they saw is of what was at his feet, not the appearance of God himself. It could well be that the group was not given permission to lift their faces toward God, but saw only the pavement beneath his feet. Maybe that is what the Greek translators were attempting to get at when they added the already mentioned phrase. When Moses asked to be shown the glory of God, he was refused on the grounds that humans cannot see the face of God and live.
Then Moses said, "Now, show me your glory." And the Lord said, "I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." But he said, "You cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live."
In the earlier text, since no request to see God's glory is cited, we must assume that what Moses and his companions experienced was a theophany of the presence of God. Even what little they saw of the setting of God's presence so humbled and awed them, that they apparently flung themselves down in an act of obeisance. Hence, what they saw and reported was no higher than the level of the pavement. In spite of the uniqueness and unnaturalness of this experience, Moses and his companions were not harmed or disciplined by God. He did not raise his hand against them.
God did not raise his hand against these leaders of the Israelites. They saw God, and they ate and drank.
But they did experience a special nearness to God, as they partook together of a covenantal meal. We conclude that no one has ever seen God except the Son. What Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu and the 70 elders experienced was the real presence of God and the place where he stood. When God is said to have shown his back or his face to anyone, it is an anthropomorphic usage, a description of God in terms used of humans so as to point to a definite reality, but only in ways that approximate that reality. God's back suggests his disapproval, and his face suggests his blessing and smile of approval. In no sense can these terms be used to denote any shape or form of God. God remains unseen but mightily able to manifest the reality and majesty of his presence.